Do you guys want to get involved in having fun and potentially changing someone's life? Then tune in to the 24-hour gaming live stream on the 11th of July at 12 noon BST, that's 4 AM PST, and get involved. We're going to be playing CSGO, GTA 5 and other games, so please set a date in your calendars and load up your Steam accounts. Twitch name is on your screen now. Enjoy the video. I'm not sure how I missed making this video, but somehow I did. Hey guys, my name is Ryan Thomas and this is the iPhone 7 versus Google's iPhone the Pixel. So with the iPhone 7s or 8 or X and the Pixel 2 being rumoured more than Half-Life 3, the iPhone 7 has come down to around £400 used and the Pixel has come down to around £300 used. I was really actually shocked when I saw these, as I was paying more than £600 for both of these when they first released. The designs of both are very similar. None of them went the Samsung route of all glass, however the Pixel is this weird glass metal hybrid back that I don't really mind, but I do prefer the design of the iPhone 7, which is a full metal design instead of glass. The Pixel has a large chin and forehead, which seem kind of pointless because there aren't any front-firing speakers, nor are there buttons, compared to the iPhone 7, which at least has a large chin and forehead but has a home button. Both are petite designs compared to the phones I'm used to, and both feel quality in the hand. The one massive chamfer on the Pixel is really nice, and it's refreshing to see a phone without a protruding camera element like the one on the iPhone 7. However, I do think I prefer the look and feel of the iPhone 7 due to the slightly more petite design and matte black finish, which you can now of course buy the iPhones in. The screens on these devices are very different despite their similar size. On the Pixel we have a 5-inch 1080p AMOLED display, which is just gorgeous and one of the best of small phones ever, and on the iPhone 7 we have a slightly smaller 4.7-inch 750 by 1334 Retina IPS display that looks great, but in my opinion is not as good as the one on the Pixel. Both are very sharp, and so detail is great on them. Reading small text and watching high resolution videos works really well, but I prefer a larger display for those kinds of things. They both get rather bright outdoors, but I feel the Samsung panels just get a little bit brighter. I do prefer AMOLED panels due to the awesome black levels and contrast, so I would have to pick the Pixel's display over the iPhone's due to this. The iPhone 7's display is a testament to the fact that you do not need super high resolution to make a great display, and the viewing angles on the iPhone 7's panel destroy those on the Pixel. So either way you go, you're going to get an amazing display. If you're looking for the best cameras in smartphones, you've picked the right phones to look at. Along with the S7 Edge, these two phones are honestly the best cameras on a phone in this range. They're both 12 megapixels and they can both shoot Ultra HD video at 30 FPS, 1080p at 120 and 720p at 240 FPS for slow motion. It's really nice to see more phones implementing high speed slow motion, and the new Xperia phone has 960 FPS camera, which I really hope to check out in the future. The dynamic range on both of these cameras is just amazing. Both photos and videos are looking incredible and both have stabilization of some kind. We have electronic image stabilization on the Pixel with its f2.0 lens. Solo light isn't amazing, but it's actually quite good, whereas the iPhone we have optical image stabilization and f1.8 glass, so the low light is quite a bit better. I got the best photos I've ever taken on the Pixel. I went out with my girlfriend when I had the phone to take a bunch of photos and I got some absolute stunners in my opinion. Please do check out my Instagram for photo tests on phones. The secondary cameras are also awesome on these phones. I prefer the Samsung wide angle lenses like from the S7, but these are pretty good too. We have a 7 megapixel sensor on the iPhone with f2.2 glass, and on the Pixel we have an 8 megapixel sensor with f2.4 glass, so quite a bit more zooming ability, but I can't wait for someone to take a leaf out of HTC's book and get optical image stabilization on the front camera. The performance figures on these devices are actually rather similar. We have a quad-core Apple A10 Fusion chip on the iPhone with 2GB of RAM, which runs impeccably, and then we have the quad-core Snapdragon 821 with 4GB of RAM, and this thing runs arguably quicker than the ferociously quick iPhone 7. Both base units have 32 gigs of flash storage, with the Pixel able to go to 128 gigabytes and the iPhone actually able to push it a next step further to 256. Neither of these phones have microSD expansion, which is a real shame, especially on the Pixel where I may have wanted to see it, so the cloud will be your best mate with Pixel's unlimited photo and video cloud storage. These are arguably the best devices in terms of software when it comes to installed out of the box. We have iOS 10 on the iPhone with its ability to upgrade to iOS 11 when it comes out and it gets fully released, and we have 7.1 Nougat on the Pixel, so both are running stock software and the most up-to-date versions of that. I really like the stock software on both because they are just really well optimized and both run crazily smooth. They both age well, being stock without loads of bloat, meaning you're going to get fantastic performance even a year on. Running through the OS and running any apps and games is perfectly smooth on both, which is awesome, and you should get support for new software over the next few years too, as Apple tends to support for a long time, and when Google stops supporting the Pixel, you can always install a custom ROM fairly easily. The batteries on these phones are actually rather small, but the Pixel's battery is 40% larger. The Pixel has a 2770 mAh cell versus the iPhone's 1960 mAh battery. The battery life is arguably slightly better on the Pixel, but for some reason I always manage to get more screen on time with the iPhone. However, over time the iPhones do tend to drop in battery life a little bit more than the Pixel does, and neither are really user replaceable unless you're handy and have an iFixit kit to hand, so it's not great. But there are plenty of options for battery cases on the iPhone and not that many on the Pixel. The speaker. Google really missed a big chance with this one, as the iPhone 7 has a fantastic stereo speaker setup that doesn't impede the design and works really well. I suppose they had to, considering they axed the headphone jack. The Pixel has just a single poorly placed speaker on the bottom of the phone, which in my opinion is just a missed opportunity. The main port on the Pixel is a USB Type-C in the 3.0 flavour, which is refreshing and is nice that phones are now switching to 3.0 Type-C versus the first few phones that only had 2.0 Type-C. And we also get a headphone jack. The iPhone 7 on the other hand only has a Lightning port, which is a very controversial decision when they announced it, but I really don't feel that this is a bad idea, as it does come with Lightning headphones and an adapter, which means you haven't lost any real functionality. The fingerprint scanners on these devices are great too, although I feel the fastest scanner is the one found on the iPhone 7. The iPhone 7 scanner is on the front, built into a haptic fake button, which is a nicely quick and accurate scanner, and the Pixel takes a different approach with a rear play scanner with a super cool swipe down functionality. I think I prefer the one on the Pixel due to the placement, but if it's a make or break feature for any of you, then you definitely have a choice between front and back here. The Pixel does have super fast charging versus the iPhone, which doesn't unfortunately, but overall the feature set is minimal on both. However, the Pixel does have Google Assistant up its sleeve, which can be super useful when you use it correctly. In conclusion, I miss using both, and if you handed me both, I really couldn't pick. I think I prefer the physical design and build of the iPhone, but I prefer the software of the Pixel. I think that these are both going to be very good for at least another 2 to 3 years yet, unless there is a real breakthrough in technology and everyone switches over, which is highly unlikely. You're not going to be disappointed with either of these phones. So guys, I finally made this versus video. Thank you all so much for watching and the support. Please do interact with the community by liking/disliking and commenting your thoughts on this video. My question is, if you're going to upgrade this year, are you going to be buying the new Pixel, the new iPhone, or maybe the new OnePlus 5 that's announced very, very soon? Anyway, please subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.